Don't you love it when you're like, I wonder if this exists, and then you look it up and you're like, oh, it does! That was my experience with this beautiful device. Check this out, guys. My hand's shaking like I'm an old lady. So I have two 7U IntelliGel cases, which means that I have a lot of 1U space. And as you know, there's not like a crazy amount of companies that do 1U modules. There is the new Mosaic company, and I do have a few of those modules. But when I look at my 1U space, all I think is like, oh, what other 1U modules can I buy? And it's like I'm buying modules just because I need 1U modules, right? And we don't want that. So I'm like, hey, I wonder if there's a way to mount 3U modules in 1U space, and behold, the 3U to 1U Abyss converter. They also have one that's like reversed, so like you can put 1U modules in a 3U space. I think it's only like 22 HP for those. With this one, you can use any 4 HP 3U module and turn it into 1U. So I had a DivKid Oct, and I'm like, this is perfect for this because there's literally no 1U module that does what the Oct does. And hey, if I can save some extra space in my case and not have to be shopping for 1U modules just because I have 1U space, that's a win. So I got me two of these. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this one yet, but there's a few modules that I have in mind. But how cool is this? I think they were like 20 something bucks. I believe the black one was a little more expensive for some reason, or maybe the silver one, I'm sorry, don't quote me on it. But one of the colors is a little more expensive than the other one. So if you don't care about color, then obviously just get whatever. I wanted the black one so it would go with my Oct. And then this one I'm gonna use for, I don't know, we'll see. So I just got back from Knobcon and it was a very fun time. Got to hang out with some old friends, made some new friends. Awesome time all around. Definitely a trip, like, you know, going out of my way to go do this, but it was a lot of fun. Who knows when I'll be able to be back, but yeah, you guys should definitely check that out. You know, it's these type of events that they're not like guaranteed, so like if people don't go, eventually it's like, hey, well, you know, if nobody's coming, then we're just gonna cancel the event. So, you know, it's a very small event, nothing like NAMM or like Super Booth or anything crazy. But yeah, check it out if you're like local to Chicago. It was like 60 bucks the ticket. I think the most expensive thing was like staying at the hotel. But if you can, you know, stay around there or I don't know, stay with a friend, that'll save you a few bucks. I also got me some Modbap modular cables. He was kind enough to hook a sister up with these over at Knobcon. And when I opened the bag, I'm like, oh, these look kind of small because they were like wrapped up like this and it looked like they were like 6 inches. I'm like, okay, that's, you know, that's gonna be useful for some things. Then I opened it and I'm like, oh my god, these are the longest cables I have. And at first I'm like, okay, you know, that's like a weird length. But after plugging these in, guys, like, these just changed the game because like, you think long cables are like for, you know, things that are far away, but in reality, like you can use them for pretty much, like I'm honestly thinking of just getting long cables now, because like when you patch them, you can just get them out of the way and then put a little cable tie on them and then like everything's just like super organized. So pro tip, after 5 years of being into modular, longer cables make sense. Obviously, like if you have like the little short cables and you have a very close connection, yes, keep those, but I'm always like, which one is the right length? And it's just like stressful. Another good like modular tip would be if you're just starting off to buy cables by color for lengths. So for example, if you're gonna get really long cables, just buy them one specific color. Really short cables, just buy them that one specific color. You know, these are things that you learn after. Then it's like, oh, I have all these different lengths, and when I need a certain cable, it's like, oh wait, it's too short. Oh wait, this one's too long. It's in the way. But with these, I'm just gonna be cable sipitime. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna make a necklace. So these are the cable ties that I was telling you about. Again, these are by Modbap Modular. My boy Corey's always hooking it up, so thank you, Corey. But these are definitely useful and cute. Like I love the whole pink and blue aesthetic. So these are the cable ties by Modbap Modular. Super aesthetic, pink and blue, y'all already know. This is great for keeping your spaghetti together on things that you don't unpatch a lot, you know, because even though I do unpatch my modular a lot, there are things like my mixer and my sequencer that I'm like, okay, I always patch these normally into the same things, so it would make sense to use these. And now that I have my longer cables, that's what I'm gonna do. And last but not least, Knurlies. Yes, I can't believe it took me so long to get Knurlies. So basically, these are little screws that you can screw with your hand. I haven't used a screwdriver with my modular since I got it because of the Knurlies. And they come with like built-in washers, so like, that's nice. Because like, who has time to like be putting washers on everything? I mean, I know I don't. I know other people are gonna be like, oh my god, put washers on things, don't you care about your gear? Well, if you care about your gear and you're lazy, get yourself some Knurlies. I bought these, they were like 20 something bucks. And you know, it's not every day that you want to drop 20 something bucks on some screws, but definitely worth it. Definitely an investment you want to make if you're into modular, like for real. Like, life-changing, these little screws, no lie. And our last useful accessory, at least that I can think of, let me know if you have any other useful accessories for your rack that just like, you know, change your life and make life simple, because we all need that, are the banana cables. Yes, the stackables. This thing just like loves my face and doesn't want to zoom into anything but my eyeballs. There we go. Okay, so yeah, so basically, you know, if you have two things that you want to patch into something, you can just, boom, stack them. Saves you some time, saves you like getting any extra modules. Definitely get yourself some of these if you're gonna go into the rabbit hole of modular, which, you know, that's what we're kind of doing. And how my case is now is definitely not how my case is gonna stay. And like, that's the cool thing about modular. It's like, oh, I don't like this, all right, just switch it out. Just take the module out, sell it, get a new module. Simple. So like, that's the cool thing about modular. It's like, okay, I have this idea, I'm gonna try this, maybe that's not really what I was trying to do. I guess it seemed like a good idea at the time, but you know what? Let's try something else. Switch them out. Hey, that's the whole point of modular. And it's fun that way, you know, but don't get in the habit of just buying and buying and buying modules, because then, you know, this will happen. We have modules everywhere. But that's not true, because look, I have a case that's empty over there. So like, I'm just lazy and busy and I need to put my modules in my case. I am an advocate of, if you're not using it, if you're not super excited about it, get rid of it, because like, why waste time on something that you're not super excited about? That takes time away from things that you actually like want to do. So try to figure out in which direction you want to take your modular in, because it's not the same for everybody. I'm leaning more towards making mine into like an effects case dash a few voices being sequenced. At first I'm like, let's sample into this, do this and that. But I'm thinking more like playing live instruments, playing my tongue drum into it, and stuff like that. So I think that's where I'm headed. But hey, it could change. I could feel different in a couple days. So, you know, stick around and find out. Sequencing can be just as fun as playing a live instrument. Like, they're just different experiences of interacting with the modular beast. But I do feel that where I want to put my energy is like getting better at my instruments, the guitar and the piano. So I think that's where I'm going to be taking my modular more into. I also started posting music on my music channel again. It's been like so long since I've posted music on my music channel, but it is something that I want to do, because like, that's the whole point of trying to do this YouTube thing, right? Like, it's crazy how like consumed you can get into like editing videos and like reviewing gear, or like making these type of videos, that it's like music kind of gets the back end. And like, the whole point of trying to do YouTube is to be able to do something I love, right? So I'm gonna try to do more music on my music channel, so check that out if you haven't already. Follow me there too. Cool stuff, guitar, modular, whatever inspires me at the time. That's it, guys. I hope to catch you in the next one. Stay fly. DistroKid gets your music into Snapchat? Snapchat has a feature called Sounds on Snapchat that lets its users easily add music to snaps. Thanks to DistroKid's partnership with Snapchat, users can now add their new and old music to their store. For new music, simply select Snapchat when uploading your next track. For old music, just click Add to More Stores and you can see Snapchat and any other new stores in there too. If you're thinking of signing up, use the code below and save 7%.